See, this is me. Boba Fett. He's no good to me, dead.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy, it's Konkon, back at it again. Sitting next to me.
We're gonna have to change that intro because he is not in the show.
What you do? Yeah. We have to get rid.
This isn't me.
This is not my show. Boba Fett. And sitting across from us. Well, I didn't even say you. No one cares about you, actually, though.
I mean, everybody knows the forerunner of the show.
I should have just put it's Konkon and the arm guy. Like, just leave you out of it completely. Justin is sitting next to me.
One of the mods.
One of the mods. Yeah, you're one of the mods now.
Full metal arms.
Full metal arms. That's true. And across from us virtually, Michael, tell the people who you are and tell them where they can find you and your amazing podcast.
All right. Well, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for having me. This is an honor to be here. My name is Michael Arrear. I am one half of the Star Wars podcast. If you're reading into the name at all, yes, we cover Star Wars, but also Marvel TV shows. It was around the era that right before WandaVision came out, and we knew about all these Star Wars and Marvel shows that were coming out, and it seemed like it was never going to stop. So I was like, there's no better time to start a podcast. So basically, we're kind of like Disney Plus as a whole. We're kind of like the freaks for whatever comes on there.
Yep.
Everything.
So that's who we are. You find us Star Wars on any podcast app. And check us out on Instagram because that's like you can find everything else from there. So,
and you guys, you just came out with your shirts.
Oh,
yes,
nice.
I'm
baseball
repping it
tees. Oh, you're wearing one. Yeah.
Yes.
I was.
Dang it, we should have done baseball tees.
I saw his face. I was like, we're gonna trade shirts actually. So we're sending him a Cantina shirt.
Sweet.
What was the website though? It's was it Bonfire?
Yeah, this is not a sponsorship. Okay, I don't want to give them too much until they're willing to support me back.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I actually really like Bonfire. There's some pros and cons. Listen, it's like, but my big thing is convenience. It's all about convenience. The way I record my podcast, I want it to be convenient. The way I do my shirts, I want it to be convenient. And Bonfire, what they do, they print the shirts, they ship the shirts, they host, they have like an online store for you. They basically do everything. With that being said, they do take a large cut of the shirts. We don't make a whole lot on them. So really it's more so just about like sharing the show with people and the people that care about it. So,
Yep.
And Konnor, you were on an episode, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yes, episode 3 of Book of Boba Fett with them. We talked about the mod gang very deeply.
The Rowdy Ruckus Boys, as I call them.
The Rowdy Ruckus Boys. Yes, they were there. It was great, guys. Check them out. And you guys are on every platform, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hey, thank God, it is like we were kind of like down on that episode, right? We were a little sad, but look at where we are now. Okay, it's all uphill from now.
Look at us, we're doing it.
Who would have thought? Not me. We're here.
We watch too much.
Yeah, we do. Guys, this episode, housekeeping, of course, really quick, as you can see on the screen. But if you can't, no worries, I got you. Konkon's Cantina, of course, at the following: Instagram, Facebook. Our Discord is in our Linktree. That is where we talk predominantly spoilers for everything. And then the only difference is TikTok, which is Konkon's Cantina podcast on TikTok. The foot videos, we got to get them going again.
Yeah,
that's what people want to see, right? It's the foot.
That's why I trim my nails every other day.
Look, I mean, as long as you know, guys, please rate this podcast 5 stars is what we seek. Please leave us a review if you find it that interesting. I mean, Justin, he needs it. It's just imagine Justin with the Sarah McLachlan song. Yeah, I will remember. He needs the ratings, and we do too as a podcast. It helps push the show to other people listening to other Star Wars content, and we
It's how we find great shows like Star Wars.
Yeah. And
exactly
Instagram too. And Instagram's a good one as well. Guys, the agenda of this episode is we'll be talking about the 6th episode of the Book of Mando. Yes, this is not the Book of Boba Fett anymore. And of course, we'll be doing the recap, and then we'll be following up this call with call-ins. Tons of call-ins.
All right,
already.
It's 12 hours, not even 12 hours of being out. Yep. We are up to 5 or 6 phone calls.
Yeah, it's going to be a
day
lot.
Of.
Yeah, so guys, in the description, in the show notes, I will leave a timestamp. That way, If you are just looking for the recap, I will put the start and the finish. And then if you are looking for just a call-in, you can also find that as well. But Justin, Michael,
we back.
We are a Cantina
I
podcast.
get to say it today.
Oh, you say it, say it.
We back.
We back. I think I said it for you. I kind of stole your thunder on that one, man. My bad. We are a Cantina podcast. So we're going to go into the Cantina right now. Garless Cantina for the last time,
Rip.
actually. Yeah, rip.
Welcome to konkonscantina. What are you having? But remember, no droids.
Michael, I'm putting you on the spot, buddy. I'm having you go first. Tell us what you're drinking and give us your Mando score. At how many Mandos down in the covert are going to drink what you're drinking?
Okay, listen, and I know what this show's about, right? I came prepared. I pulled out the best of the best.
Nice.
I am drinking "Gotta Get Up" by Wiseacre, and it is a coffee milk stout. I don't know. Wiseacre is based out of Memphis, so I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
That's local for you then.
Yeah, I'm in Nashville. It's about 3 hours away. So I wasn't exactly sure how far they spread out. But Wiseacre, I love everything by Wiseacre, but specifically this coffee milk stout. I'm a coffee guy in general, and it really is like. And typically in the other coffee flavored beers or stouts that I've had, it's like very. It just feels artificial. I kind of feel like it's like the perfect blend of an actual beer and like a cold brew. So yeah, this is my favorite drink. That's what I got tonight. So yeah.
How many Mandos down in the covert? How many of them? Out of 10, how many of them are drinking it?
I would say, because listen, it is, if you're not a coffee guy, I would understand you might not be interested in it, but I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I feel like even if you don't like coffee, there's a good chance you're going to like this.
So it's very coffee forward?
It's pretty coffee forward, yeah. I mean, it's probably, I would say it's like...
You got some can art for us?
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, we're suckers for that can art. Oh, yeah, look at that.
That would definitely be.
Oh, yeah, we buy that. Yeah, hey, black can, pink lettering. You want it? Yes.
Done.
Justin,
yes, no.
I'm going to let you tell the people what you and me are drinking. We're sharing this one.
Yes, we are drinking one of the beers that I cannot remember if it's one that I bought or Dylan brought for us from Louisiana. But
No, this is This is Dylan for sure.
This is Dylan.
Yeah,
okay.
This is Dylan one.
I bought a whole bunch of beer when I was there, and he drove them down for me, so they're all mushed together in my head.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Now I understand. So I have no idea. So
yeah.
continue.
So this doesn't matter. This is delicious. This is from Trim Tab Brewing out in Alabama. This is an Imperial Holiday Now Cellar Reserve is the name of it, and it is a cranberry spice Berliner Weiss. It is a 7.8% beer, so it's a little high gravity for a Berliner Weiss, and it is surprisingly good. It's very tart.
Their description, it's very tart.
Their description is a holiday ale with cranberry, cinnamon, allspice, and clove. So I was expecting a little more like spice, like a kind of like a spicy beer, but this is, I would almost lean towards a sour taste.
It's definitely,
tart.
Yeah, it's definitely sour and tart in the front and in the mid.
It looks like grape juice, kind of.
But when I get it under my tongue,
grape juice. I mean, grapefruit juice, like that pinkish.
When I get it under my tongue, though, I feel more of that hearty flavor. I know this sounds weird, but almost like stuffing. Like I get like a bread, like wheat. I guess that's the best way to put it. It's really good, but I don't. There's something about this that I couldn't do multiple of.
See, I was literally thinking the opposite.
I'm going
like
the flavor's really good though.
I took a big heavy swig of it, and like as a gulp, I'm like, oh man, that's actually like a thirst quenching, delicious beer. I think
7 out of 10.
I think it's almost better in a not sipping. Does that make sense? Like some really flavorful beers, you just like a little sip here and there. This is like better with a swig. It tastes better.
Yeah, the color's amazing. I think if you get more of it, the flavor's deeper and you get less of that tartness.
Yeah, I agree with the 7 out of 10. I think that's a perfect number for this beer.
Yeah, it's good for sure.
Definitely worth trying.
Unique
stuff.
I'm a sour guy, so and then even with the spice on top a little bit, like that sounds like a really good combination for me.
Yeah, and it's very the spice that I get more is ginger. They said clove, but I get ginger more than anything. Like ginger snap type spice, like sweet.
Yeah, maybe the allspice. You might be picking up the allspice.
Yeah, something like It's good for sure.
It's got like a hazy IPA dishwater, like non see-through clarity, and it for something about it, it looks like it looks like the pinkish color of like a grapefruit juice.
Yeah,
like I don't know. I really like this.
Yeah,
I'm liking it the more I drink it.
You could tell me that's apple cider, and I would believe you. Actually, if I were to say
yeah, for sure, guys. I think it is absolutely time to get into this 6th episode of, or actually, no, what are we up to now? Chapter 18 of The Mandalorian is actually what we're up to now, I believe. No, guys, all jokes aside, episode 5 of Book of Boba Fett, From the Desert Comes a Stranger. So real quick, we'll go around. I'll start. I gave this episode, I said 7 out of 10 initially. I've watched it twice since, and I've bumped it up to a 8 out of 10. Not to give too much away. I think the biggest thing for me, and you have a theory about this, is I felt Ahsoka was very out of place in the episode. And you know, of course, I'm not like a big Boba Fett fan, but yet again, dude's not in his own show.
Yeah, he's got a few sentences of dialogue, and that's it.
So
or does he even talk now that I'm thinking about it?
No, he's just in the scene. He nods his head. It's Finnick talking. So 8 out of 10 for me. What about you, Justin?
I give it a 9 out of 10. I had like screaming hype moments.
I did too.
I think
emotional too. I had some
definitely
emotional
scenes. I had an epiphany that I finally think I've wrapped my head around what they're doing with this phase of Star Wars that's kind of making some puzzle pieces fit together a little better, which we can get into that kind of as the episode is going.
We need to sit closer more often.
I know.
I'm enjoying this. Is intimate. I'm enjoying it.
It's also warmer. It's cuddly.
Hey, Michael, give us your Insta take on the episode.
Listen, I'm coming in hot here, and I know what people are going to say, but I'm giving this this is a 10 out of 10 for me. Okay,
that's right. Hey, we got 8, 9, and 10.
I was hoping you were going to go like super low. Like 2 out of 10.
No. I think the big complaints were like it's very like they gave us everything we could possibly want, right? Like they're just giving it to us at this point. Like they're not holding anything back. I think that was like a lot of people's complaints maybe with like early Mando is like it's not as connected or like the episodes don't really run together. But for me, it's like I'm a fan of fan service because I am a fan. And I don't think fan service is a bad thing. I want to watch Star Wars. I want you to give me what I want. And I want you to give it to me now. And that's what this episode was. And the other thing is I care a lot about all of these characters. I care and it's like, if these were like new characters doing the same thing, maybe I wouldn't be as invested and I wouldn't care as much. But they're making me care by bringing in people that I care about. So I'm all about it.
I 100% agree.
Yep, I can totally get behind that. Of course, Michael, as always, I'll be doing the recap. Feel free to butt in, talk over me, tell me I'm stupid, all the normal stuff. Not you, though. You stay quiet. Okay. With the recap, guys. 4 pike guards shuffle on the sands of Tatooine. While messing around with their spice of shipment, Cobb Vanth approaches. Quote, think it through. With his hand on his blaster, he gives them a choice. To leave the spice and to give a message to their bosses about not running spice through Mos Pelgo. Quote, we can chalk this up to y'all reading the map wrong. Loved that.
Yeah, and I also love how much they've leaned into Cantonos. Since
everywhere.
Empire Strikes Back, now they're freaking everywhere.
Nobody, there's no purses, no satchels. It's window wares. It's Chewie's bandolier and the Cantono.
It's like the Star Wars equivalent of a duffel bag at this point.
Yeah, it's like their version of the metal lunch boxes.
Oh, I miss those with the thermos inside.
I do too. Hey, GameStop has Mando ones. You know, you can go pick those up. Yeah. Opening his blaster, he immediately guns down 3 of the 4 pike assailants.
Which I thought was, after you've seen the episode, is awesome foreshadowing for the duel that we're going to see later in the episode. This is kind of highlighting Cobb's quick draw, his skills. Like, he's not a slacker. He's not just some flunky that gets destroyed later in this episode.
No.
He's quick. He's fast. He took out 4 guys. So it's great foreshadowing that I really appreciate on my second watch through more than the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we talk about this again. I don't want to step on toes too much here, but I'm going to reference some Marvel stuff.
Do it.
So a big theme at Marvel, a lot of times what they like to do is they like to use the power of one person to showcase the power of another. So for instance, when Thanos comes on board, he kills Loki immediately. That's how you know that Thanos is powerful. And I feel like they had to show us how powerful and how good Cobb Vanth is for us to realize how powerful Cad Bane is later on, which I really appreciate that contrast here. And also, I just want to say, like, I wasn't like a big Cobb Vanth guy, but now I am.
Dude,
like, this guy is so
I almost
cool.
like him more without the armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you by chance read the Aftermath books? Have you gotten to that trilogy yet?
I read the first half of the first book.
So
I'm not a big reader.
Yeah, well, neither are we. We do Audible, but in the epilogue throughout all three of those books, it's literally all about Cobb getting the armor. And when we were going through season 2, I mean, Justin called it immediately.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh my gosh,
that was my prediction. That wasn't on the internet yet. That was my claim to fame.
That was his claim to fame. Was Cobb Vanth shows up. Timothy Oliphant, way too good looking. Seriously, too good. Honestly, kind of too good for Star Wars, in my opinion.
I want my hair
a little
to
bit.
turn white.
Yeah, dude. I don't like
I need that
looking
Silver
at him.
Fox look.
Yeah.
I would leave my wife for him. I mean,
Dude,
I don't even go that way.
Literally, we're watching it earlier, and Cobb Vanth comes on screen, and I'm getting all excited. You'd think Natalie Portman was on screen. Nope, it's Timothy Oliphant. Good-looking dude. My goodness.
Some Portman flashbacks.
Back to don't get me started. Back to the recap. Opening the small chest left behind by the Pikes, Cobb dumps out a whole chest of spice. I loved a little quote here. It's worth more than your town. You know, that tiny little thing of spice. Which this kind of brought me back, unfortunately. Not only Dune, but remember in Clone Wars Season 7 when the Martez sisters
they dump it into space.
But those are like coffin-sized things of spice.
Yeah, yeah.
So if that little thing is buying a whole town, how much did...
that's like planet level money.
Planet level money for sure. Mando's N1 starfighter drops out of hyperspace to an unknown planet.
Also, before we jump into that part, because after that whole Cobb Vanth scene, it cuts to title screen. Did you catch the awesome mashup of the new Boba Fett theme that they used? It's a super twangy spaghetti western version of the theme that they've used for every episode.
You know, it's almost like somebody I know,
So kind of a
Disney
of Justin's foreshadowing.
There is somebody at Disney listening to our podcast and just has a pen and paper. It's like
exactly
that one.
But listen back, like go check it out. It's kind of like if you noticed last week, they took Mando's theme and mashed it together with the Boba Fett theme. Yes. They did the same thing, but it was super westerny, twangy stuff added into it. It's worth a listen if you missed it.
Well, I'd also like to throw even further back, because this is a trend I've been noticing all the way back to The Mandalorian. And my favorite instance of this is in the Ahsoka episode from Mandalorian. At the end, when they're focusing on Mando a little bit more, they play like this more woodwind type instrumental of his song as well, which that's my favorite. If everyone hasn't heard it, I don't know the name off the top of my head. I'll look it up. But yeah, I love whenever they can change up the themes a little bit, and it's awesome.
The music in Book of Boba Fett has probably been one of my favorite parts, period.
Yeah.
And we'll have a musical note coming up here in the show later as well.
Ludwig's the man.
Landing on the fastest ship in the galaxy, Din is met by R2-D2. I immediately hooted and hollered.
Dude, I love it.
When I saw R2.
It's Dave Filoni who does not want to wait. Like he just wants to like drop it on you. You got Cobb Vanth right away.
Yeah.
Title screen, R2-D2 right away. Kind of the same with Mando, kind of the same with Ahsoka. Like he does not waste time when he's directing, that he's giving you these cameos showing up.
I'm looking. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say it's very reminiscent of like how the Clone Wars worked. Like, and back in the Clone Wars, it wasn't a shock to see like a random character that we know pop up out of the middle of nowhere. Like that was just the usual. And it's so cool that he's able to translate, and it's a lot easier to do in animation, obviously, because you can edit people, and also voice actors. A lot of the ones on the Clone Wars are voicing multiple characters, so they can easily stretch and just bring anyone in. It's so easy to do that.
Yeah,
and the
you're
fact that
already on the payroll.
Yeah, exactly. It's so like, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he if he could?
Mando says, "I'm looking for Skywalker. I came to see the kid, Grogu." After some beeps and boops, R2 puts down his third wheel and rolls away. Following, Mando notices ant-style robots.
All the swarming androids.
Dude, all swarming androids bringing in rocks to a clearing, which is obviously making a new Jedi temple.
Which we were talking, I actually took some screenshots of what the Jedi temple has looked like in canon, both in some comics and in the Skywalker trilogy. And I feel like it's the same place, but this is just like a super early version of it. I was hoping we were going to get a planet name because still that's a mystery. We don't know the name of this planet.
Dude, ever since Rogue One, where they named planets, I still don't understand why they're not doing that now.
Yeah, I know. Like, because we know, like, in the EU, Yavin 4 was where Luke had his academy.
Yeah.
But we don't know where this is now. And I don't know. It's like stupid things like that. Like, I just want the name of a planet.
Dude,
like, tell me where they are. Like, it could be a made-up word. It doesn't matter. I mean, it could be. Like, there's nothing to say it's not. There's nothing to say it is at this point.
Yeah, might as well. Might as well. Let it be Evan, please. I'm down for that.
Yeah, exactly. Mando starts to wonder if anyone actually living is around these parts. Looking to R2 with more questions, R2, of course, in his comedic relief fashion, shuts down so he doesn't have to answer Mando's questions. The swarming ant-style robots continue to work. Quote, "Is that a bench?"
They build him a bench.
They literally build him a bench.
You know,
place leaves for comfort. I love that.
Yeah.
Do you notice that Din's hatred of droids is slowly subsiding?
Dude, he not slow. He calls R2 friend.
Yeah.
He gets out of it. He says hello, friend. He called the little BD droid little buddy. It's
I think
huge
it's all since
character
IG-11 like kind of had his like mind opened to that.
It's almost too abrupt for me, though, because even in the last episode, when he's going on his commercial flight, he gives all of his best weapons to a droid, which is like that's unheard of for Mando.
Which he wouldn't do to the Jawas. It's part of I'm a Mandalorian. It's part of my religion. But like he just forks him over to a droid.
Listen, he didn't have a nice manufactured ship from Razor Crest. So
the Razor Crest. How dare you,
so
sir?
He had to get on a commercial flight. Back to the
Quit
recap.
The show.
No, I'm going to interrupt you here because I have an opinion. I was listening to your last podcast. I'm on the Razor Crest train right here.
Thank you. Best guest ever.
No, you're no. So you think that it's a one-off?
No, I don't. Look, I think even if it is a one-off, it's still the Razor Crest.
Uh-oh.
Guys, thank you for joining us this week at Cantina. No, listen, Michael.
Yes.
I have no. Wait, what does Mando always say? I have no quarrel with you. Is that what he says?
Dank Ferrick.
Or no, I have no qualm with you when he's about to kill somebody. Michael, I have a qualm with you. Anyway. Dang it. Okay, back to the listen. Yes. That's so
one tally.
You are
make the mark on the dry erase board.
You are in a two-man canoe right now. That is it, my friend. A two-man canoe.
That's all we need.
My goodness. Off elsewhere on the planet, Luke and Grogu meditate under a tree.
Take that, Ben.
Yeah. A frog catches Grogu's attention. Grogu tries to use the Force to catch the frog and eat it, but Master Luke catches him. Luke then extends his right hand. Using the Force, he pulls all of the frogs in the vicinity out of the pond.
I'm surprised it didn't cut to an anime style, like, permanent drool mark, like wide-eyed face of Grogu when he did that.
Yeah. We get a lot of that, though.
Yeah.
Like, did you notice how many faces Grogu's making?
Oh, yeah, no. And you know what? Actually, in this episode, Grogu reminds me of another certain Jedi. Anakin. Grogu is just like Anakin. He's very disobedient. That's a
great reference. Yeah.
He marches to the beat of his own drum. He does he will try to get things behind your back when you're not looking. I don't know. I doubt there's going to be a similar path for Grogu, but it's something to know.
I want him to do the little, like, piffs and purrs that he did in season 2. Like when Mando would look at him, he'd go,
yeah,
like
baby noises, toddler sounds.
Exactly. Luke then begins to tell Grogu about Yoda. He was small like you, but his heart was huge. That's how he talked. He would speak in riddles.
I like.
What are you laughing at?
It made me laugh in that part.
This was super serious.
Okay, but it made me laugh because at this time he's like, I ain't got time for your tiny legs, and he's like force push and pulling him along. He's like, hurry it up. And he was like, that's how he talked, like a freaking idiot. That's how I was like, he made no sense, but that's how he talks. I'm not misquoting him.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I feel like that was a conversation when we first met Grogu. It was like, oh, is he going to talk just like Yoda?
Yes.
Is that like a thing of a species? But I don't know. Does this confirm that that's not the case? Yoda was just weird.
I think so, because he specifically asks him, did others talk like that back home? And then he says, do you remember back home?
Yoda was just he was on the spectrum, and he was a savant with the Force.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, he can't talk right.
He can't talk.
He's really with the Force.
And then we go into straight like POW status with baby Grogu with the flashback, which we'll get back
PTSD.
Into. Oh man, yeah, we'll get in this recap. I want to talk about this recap or this flashback too, because I really enjoyed this. Once again, back to the recap, asking him if he remembers back home. Sorry, of course, the stinking iPad, man. It has its touch, own, it has its own mind. He then asks him, do you remember back home? He then follows it up, would you like to remember? Extending his hand onto Grogu's head, Grogu relives Order 66 at the Jedi Temple that was explained to us also by Ahsoka in Mandalorian Season 2. This scene right here, when I watched it the first time, I didn't like how the 501st looked. We're so used to seeing them CGI and animated. I don't think we've
ever seen live action. It was, and the prequels were CG, animated was,
and I still don't know if these. I like really at first I thought they were live action. And
I watched it like 4 times. I think they were live action. I think they were live action because of your statement about what you said. You thought they didn't look great. You thought they looked bulbous.
This is what I said. I thought that the proportions looked off, and for lack of a better term, and I mean this in no offense, I thought they looked fat.
Yeah, like the armor bulked like them
usual.
Up too much.
Yeah,
I watched it like I said, like 4 times. I like kind of backtracked on the little timeline and watched that thing like 4 times because I really wanted to pay attention after you made that statement. I think they looked great. I think they looked awesome.
And I think they looked great too. What about you, Michael? How'd you like that scene?
It wasn't necessarily the way anybody looked. I think more so it was the way it was shot. And this actually is one of my very few complaints on the episode. Mm-hmm. It's very weird to get like this I don't know, this like force vision type where the screen is like blurry. And also like I don't know, it disconnected for me. And like when you're seeing like a POV shot in Star Wars, I like it just didn't look right. And I don't think the characters are to blame, but I thought like just whether it be like the filter they used or whatever it was, the same goes for the Jedi and the clones there. So I don't know. It was a little weird to me as well.
Is anybody noticing the lightsabers not looking like they should? They don't have
in this scene or like in this episode in general.
In not only in Mandalorian Season 2, but also now in Book of Boba Fett. Luke's lightsaber, they used an actual installed.
Are you talking about hilts? Or are we talking about
the blade, the effects, the effects? Yeah. Yes, they look like. Oh, they shot the scene with a NeoPixel, but they didn't go back and color correct and make it look FX.
I didn't notice that. I would say no, based on the one that I do remember was seeing Yoda's lightsaber ignited, and I thought that looked
one did look good.
That's the only one that I can call to mind specifically.
Yeah.
So I think whatever it is in the movies, like even in the sequels here, like when you ignite a lightsaber, like the sound and the look of it all, like I picture like the opening sequences of Rise of Skywalker where Rey is kind of like chasing through the jungle or whatever. Like when she's using her lightsaber, like there's something about it that feels so powerful. And I can't put my finger on what it is, but I don't necessarily get that when Luke pulls his out, for instance. I think it has a lot more to do with sound, really, because I feel like it's a lot louder in the movies.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Back to the recap. The universe is a dangerous place. I will teach you to protect yourself. Back to the bench, secured by the ant-style droids, Ahsoka approaches Mando. Quote, I thought you weren't going to help train the kid. Ahsoka then responds to Mando, I am not Master Luke is. Mando of here is, of course, to see one thing, and that is to see Grogu. Ahsoka, however, she's not convinced. I warned you when we met. Your attachment to Grogu would be hard to let go, said Ahsoka. Mando, standing before a clearing, sees Grogu with Master Luke in the distance. Sorry.
Oh, it's heart-wrenching.
Yeah,
so
it really
close
was.
and so far.
Yeah. What do you think about that? That scene in general, we see them both.
Mhm.
It reminded me of I don't know why, but Black Panther, when he goes to the other world and we have the that African
where all the
tree,
ancestors
that Savannah
are.
tree.
Yeah, all the ancestors are in the tree. Yeah,
That kind of Japanese tree, also with that African Savannah tree, they gave me that same. Somebody's at that tree, something important's happening here, someone of power, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, this is very like all of this. I mean, I'm jumping ahead here a little bit, but like even when he flies off and like Grogu, it's almost as if he can sense who that was. It's very powerful, this connection that they've able to build. And again, it's like it's not necessarily a testament to this show, but it's a testament of them being able to build up these characters over 3 seasons, I'll call it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Are you doing this for Grogu, or are you doing this for yourself? Ahsoka begs to Mando. Of course, Mando is there to offer Grogu his gift. Because he was a Mandalorian foundling, he feels that he is entitled to it. It will protect him, Din said. Foundling? Perhaps he is a Padawan now, was the response from Ahsoka. Grogu seeing Mando would make things more difficult for him. But somehow, even through the helmet, we feel the emotion of Din Djarin, and Mando turns around and leaves, leaving his gift with Ahsoka in the promise of her giving it to Grogu.
100% showing you he is, without all doubts, putting Grogu. That is what he's worried about. That is what he cares about, even more than himself. Like he's already like getting that fatherly, like I just want my child to be happy type of a vibe.
Yep. Grogu, no doubt, senses Mando, just as Michael brought out, as he flies away in his N1 starfighter. Extending his arm in the distance, no doubt, is the visual representation that we see that through the Force, somehow Grogu knew he was there.
It reminded me of the scene in Clone Wars season 7, where Ahsoka is flying over Anakin, and they kind of just sense each other as they're passing.
They have that
because of
Luke moment.
Yeah, that connection.
Same thing with in
Return of the
Jedi.
Yeah.
Luke and Vader have the same exact
Kind of felt
interaction.
that same kind of vibe to that.
Luke continues to drain Grogu. Montage alert. And I want to be a backpack while you run. Did you write the Seagull song down?
No.
You did?
No.
Dude, do you know the Seagull song, Michael?
Okay, listen, actually, I've got a little rant here, and maybe I should be convinced, but I've seen a couple different videos similar to this, and I never really find them that funny. Like I feel like Star Wars is so precious to me. I don't want anyone to make a joke of it. And listen, actually, I was not aware of the sequel song, but somebody sent it to me today, and they're like, "Hey, that reminded me of this." I was like,
yes.
I can't watch this because I feel like I'm gonna get mad.
But
is it
good? Okay. 1000%. I am with you. I do not like it when
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
The butt of the joke is Star Wars. Like I don't like Spaceballs.
What is the Seagull song? Sing me the Seagull song.
You don't know that song?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Yes, you do. It's the bad lip reading of on Empire when Luke, and Brenda, that whole thing, but it leads somebody made a whole song, and it is actually funny. Michael, do yourself a favor, watch it. As somebody who doesn't like Star Wars satire type stuff, it is funny. So
if you ever insult Spaceballs again, though, I will.
That movie is absolute trash. Just
I like
as
Pizza the Hut.
So this whole running, flipping, this whole montage scene, I got like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon vibes. That's like
Karate Kid for me.
I wrote down Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like just
it was the
running
bamboo,
through, going
honest.
through the bamboo, but like climbing the bamboo and then being at the top of the tree. Yep. That's like the vibe that I caught from that.
Yeah, for sure. Just as Luke ran with Yoda, now the roles are reversed. Grogu is now the student riding on the back of Luke. Climbing to the top of the bamboo trees, as Justin just mentioned, we have a huge number of the Force song come in, and we're going to play that for you right now.
Look, the wide world exists in balance. Feel the Force all around you. Through the Force, you will find balance as well.
Yes. Dude, it gets me choked up every time. There's something about that French horn. And the first time you see Luke looking at the binary suns, and you just get that, like, it, every time. Gets me every time. I can't.
I need to add that to my list of instruments I can play one song to.
Yeah. Hey, I bought this $2,100 French horn just to play the Force song.
So this is an inside joke that we just came up today that I want to start a YouTube channel that's like, this is really cool stuff that's expensive that I don't need. And it's just me buying things that I have no business owning, but like I just get super zeroed in. I'm like, I need a freaking French horn. I need to play this.
I need a French horn like ASAP. Yeah, for sure. No, it gets me absolutely every time. And once again, you know, we've commented on it. Music is just such a huge part of Star Wars. Shout outs to the Soundtrack Show. If you've not listened to the Soundtrack Show,
Yes.
It is a podcast that you can find on every platform. Spotify is their, or no, iHeartRadio is their main. And it's a guy who's worked projects since like the mid 80s.
He's worked on
Video
tons
game
of movies and like
Tons of
tracks, songs, fantastic. We'll make
might be having some technical difficulties, but we're gonna push through it. Did you see it too, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're good. You're good. We back. That's your cue.
no, he stole it.
Oh, okay.
I'm over it.
All right. Luke pulls out the training remote. The remote shoots at Grogu. Get back up. Always get back up, says Luke. Force jumping from rock to rock, Grogu avoids the remote blasts.
Did you think this looked weird?
I think it looked as good as it could look without it being CGI.
Yeah, there was something about it. Like
You can't see
I
his
didn't
legs.
dislike it. It's just something looked.
You can't see
janky,
it.
like,
He
weird
looked
on
like
it.
a flour sack jumping. Or
Yeah,
we need little robes and tunics for him. I need to see his
he
little
needs pants at
feetsies.
this point.
Yeah, exactly. He's well, you gotta hide the diaper.
So much merch that they could sell if they just gave him a different outfit.
Just give him a different outfit. I'd buy it. I got my
Yeah.
one scale Grogu. I gotta buy him an outfit.
I
now.
know.
It's like a Build-A-Bear workshop. You know they have him at Build-A-Bear.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
That tracks.
An American
tracks.
Girl doll.
An American Girl. Yeah, exactly.
No, I actually, I agree. This did look a little weird, but I think it more so just comes with the fact that we've never seen him move like this. Like, not even like jump. Like, just even seeing him jump like an inch off the ground was a little jarring. But now he's like flipping, and it's also the combination of he definitely needs a new fit. Like the burlap sap is not working. So.
It's not happening anymore.
Yeah,
Scarecrow has left the building, and you know, look, it's over. It's over. Get him some new clothes, guys.
Yeah.
Ahsoka approaches Master Luke, saying, "You're training him well." Master Luke replies, "It's almost like he's remembering." Luke knows that Mando was on planet. Mando, of course, returning to Tatooine, is met with Boba Fett, the Power Rangers, aka
Hold
the
on.
Ruckus
We
Rowdy
need to
Boys.
back up a second.
What you got?
You
something to say?
skimmed over the conversation between Luke and Ahsoka.
You can barely call that a conversation, and
Dude.
I will talk about that later.
You know, okay,
Well, you can talk about it now, but
So-
I'm going to give you why I
you don't
hated
like
it.
this. I love this.
Yeah.
The fact that we now have canon Luke and Ahsoka together, they're talking, they're having a conversation. She's referencing his father, Anakin, to him. Like, it just satisfied so many times. Like, God, I wish they could meet. I wonder if they met. I don't need to hear everything. I don't need to hear their probably hours and hours of conversation of him asking about his father growing up and what he was like. I don't need to hear how he saved her and he's telling Ahsoka the story of the Death Star and with the Emperor. And I don't need to hear all that. Just having this scene, like, it filled a void that I have been wanting to know, wondering, fantasizing about perfectly.
Michael, one thing that we talked about when I was on there with you guys is in reference to episode 3, we were kind of talking about seeing things that we didn't necessarily need to see. Could have kind of been summed up in a sentence. And my argument to Justin was Ahsoka feeling so out of place in this episode is 5 minutes ago, Ahsoka did not know who Luke was. In Mandalorian season 2, she tells Din to go to Tython, put Grogu on the Scene Stone. He'll do a Force thing and he'll find a Jedi. She doesn't know Luke from Adam. And then I feel that an explanation of why she's on the planet, them having these conversations, if we're going to see these things where we are seeing Boba get the Slave One back, why are we not seeing a conversation between Luke and Ahsoka?
Why would we see that in
way
the Book
more
of Boba Fett?
important?
It needs to be in the Ahsoka show.
Well, maybe it will be. But
yeah, I'm of two minds on this because, like you said, typically I'm down to like yada yada things. Like if we can skip, like we didn't need to like break down every aspect of Boba getting all of his equipment together. You know, like we get how that happened.
Yeah.
This we don't necessarily get, but like, is it gonna be as interesting as we think it is? And I agree. I believe that we will, whether it be in comic book form, whether it be in Ahsoka, I believe we will get this story at some point. But at the same time, I'm just cool if we don't. Like I know Star Wars doesn't work like that nowadays, but like it doesn't bother me. Like like we're here now, and that's all that matters, and I'm cool with it.
It satisfied my desire. If they dig into it in the appropriate show or format, I'm
wrong
down for it.
again, Michael. Wrong again.
You know what? We're starting a new podcast.
We're starting a new podcast.
Justin and Michael agree on everything.
You two can go. I'm out.
Everybody
Justin,
gets bored immediately.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, Michael, you're right. You know what, Justin? You're absolutely right.
You're absolutely
Zero interest in listening." like these two guys are just thinking each other's right.
We did get the comment. She says, you're just like your father. So we do get a nod to it. And yes, it would be more appropriate in Ahsoka show.
Yeah, I mean,
but this entire episode would have been more appropriate in, I don't know, the Ahsoka show.
Well, I'll dig into
Mandalorian
that
season
later.
3, or the Tales of the Jedi, which is the confirmed, unconfirmed Luke show that we're getting.
Yeah.
Like, you were going to dig into that later?
Yeah, I don't want to derail the whole recap.
Okay. All right. Well, we don't have that much left in the recap, so we can finish that up now. Returning to Tatooine, I almost said Mandalore. Ooh, that would have been better. We of course need more foot soldiers, as brought out by Fennec, which was, I think, the most lines she had in the entire show. Was right then and there.
More than Boba.
Yeah, my goodness.
I like that they did give an official name to the group of the scooter gang. They're called the Mods.
Yeah, where have you been?
I
I've
don't
said
know.
that.
I've not paid attention to them.
Oh.
I hate their faces.
They're the Rowdy Ruckus Boys.
I know.
They're
That's
not
what I'm going to call them. The Rowdy Ruckus Boy. The
They're
Triple R.
They're the Lost Boys.
Triple
Listen,
R.
I'm a Sophie Thatcher fan. She's the leader of them.
Hey,
so
she
Yeah,
looked
no.
pretty cute in this episode.
when it comes to the faces, I'm not going to hate them. But yeah, whether they're relevant or not, that's another question.
We need her to get some more screen time for sure. She was super a cool character for the millisecond she did anything.
Yeah, I could deal with her being on screen more for sure. Mando says he knows where to find these foot soldiers. Getting his N1 starfighter and flying over the Dune Sea. Shout outs to the Jawas of Clan Crate Dragon.
Yes.
Like, dude, they have this thing strapped like a deer. Like you just like your dad went hunting for Christmas.
My dad is dead, sir.
Yeah, he is. Your dad before he died went hunting during December and strapped a buck to the hood of the Buick.
I love it. Like I feel like they're like also like they got like we built that. like that's us. We got all
That's
that.
what you got from it when they
like they're all waving like that's our ship. We
that's our
built that."
ship. Yeah, I get it. That'd be good. Mando lands in Mos Pelgo. Mando is then met. What?
Free City? How dare you?
Man, we're getting to that. Mando is then met with the new deputy. Really quick, round table. How'd you guys feel about the deputy? Obviously,
I love
know,
he's like
gone too soon.
He's like a happy-go-lucky, like too quick to prove himself. Like I loved the character.
Yeah.
Like I loved Cobb's faces he gave him. Like eye rolls. Like Jesus, this guy.
Yeah,
he's a little too excited.
Yeah, I know Cobb wears the red shirt in this situation, but let's be honest, the deputy was the real red shirt. And the second it came out, I was like, oh, I'm just like I didn't think he'd die this episode, but I was like, this guy is only here to die. That's it.
Yeah. I was he died in good fashion though, which we're gonna get to here in a second. But
Did he though?
My dude got ganked.
That dude wasn't even supposed to be there.
He should have went in. He should have went inside. That's for sure. He then Cobb Vanth then comes to Mando and they have a drink in the bar. The decision is Cobb and the people of Now Free City. Thank you. To come and help with the fight. Unsure of the answer that Cobb gives Mando, Mando gets in his N1 starfighter and leaves. A dark silhouette of a figure rose from the distance.
Initiate my scream.
Did you, dude?
The second I saw the brim of that hat,
I sat
like, what?
Dude, the hat was a giveaway too, but what got me was
the duster flapping in the wind.
Duster flapping. That's I immediately knew. And look, we wouldn't be who we were if I didn't play the audio to this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Shout outs to Corey Burton.
Also, shout out to Cantina for a full breakdown on Cobb Vanth. If you don't know who he is, go check it out.
Cobb Vanth, and we also have episode 88 of Cantina, Cad Bane. We have the Space Cowboy episode. We tell
full
you
character breakdown on him.
Everything you need to know about his species as a Duros, his equipment, some of his legendary bounties, who he is as probably the most infamous bounty hunter.
How Boba Fett got the dent helmet.
All that stuff. Yeah, super big stuff. But we're going to play that for you right now.
And who might you be?
Whatever Fett is paying you, we'll match. And all you've got to do is stay put and let things play out.
Hey, the march for sale.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'd be careful where I was sticking my nose if I were you.
Is that friendly advice or a threat?
Boba Fett is a cold-blooded killer who worked for the Empire.
You tell your spice runners Tatooine's closed for business. This planet's seen enough violence.
Of course.
Should have never given up your armor.
Oh,
see, how does he know he has the armor? Has he been watching it?
I have stories.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. And then, of course, we get the slow play to the holsters. We get the
Dumb deputy,
Michael
Dodo deputy.
I'm going straight to
everything.
you. Tell us what you thought of Cad.
Listen, okay, all right. So on our show, Star Wars, we do what we call a cameo draft, where we pick people that we think might show up in the series. The person who picks the most people will get it. I picked Cad Bane, not only because I love Cad Bane, but I thought it made a lot of sense. And I thought it made so much sense that I almost didn't expect it to happen at all. Like, it was almost too perfect to happen. And the way they executed it, I couldn't have asked for anything better. Honestly, I think that, and listen, I'm not like the kind that like hates on Luke CGI or anything. Like, I like that kind of stuff. But I think Cad Bane's makeup looked better than Luke's CGI. Like, he looks so cool. And it's one of the rare, a lot of the issues with like the prosthetics and everything is you can't really capture the expressions of these people. I think the Pikes have a trouble with that. But Cad Bane, like, you see like the smirks and grimaces, and it is so cool.
It looks like
Cad
flesh.
Bane.
Yeah, it looks like flesh. It moves, it reacts. It doesn't look like plastic glued onto somebody's face. It's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think in your draft, you're also shooting for Bosk. I, sir, am shooting for Dengar, and I'm still holding out.
Yeah, I could see that. I would probably still bet on Bosk at this point just because we had the Trandoshan like family involved here, but I would be down for that as well.
Yeah. Dude, and once again, we get the slow play to the pistols. Of course, pistols are drawn. Cobb goes down, shot in the shoulder, though.
Yes,
We
shot
no
in
doubt
the right shoulder, not even anywhere near a lethal shot. So he's for sure alive.
I'm wondering if that was done on purpose, like his drawing arm. You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm recognizing it,
That's possible. Like he was just trying to navigate this exact scene.
Yeah,
because he was facing 2 versus 1.
Yeah, maybe something like that. And once again, the foreshadowing, we talked about how quick he was, Cobb, in the beginning of this episode, taking out 3 out of 4 people, 2 with 1 shot instantaneously. And then we see Cad dealing with 2 people.
That's a tongue twister.
Yeah, Cad and Cod. I still said it wrong. Dealing with 2 people.
Yeah,
and still
and besting the guy that
exactly.
already proved he could best 4.
Yeah, it was super, super crazy. Back to the recap. Back at Gara's Cantina, 2 Pikes come in with a Cantono. Of course, they leave this Cantono. Did you instantly know?
No, yeah. When they were walking away with it, I'm like, well, this isn't going to be good.
Not going to be good.
I also was laughing. I was like, well, this must be like a Tuesday night because Max Rebo is not there, and they got the B band like just holding it down for the
but
schmucks
they had
that are
another
coming
Biff in there.
That's just a Biff.
That's what I didn't pick up on. I thought Max Rebo. This might have been the death of Max Rebo. I didn't catch this.
No, well, I mean, Max Rebo,
he's dead.
They didn't show him, and they showed that droid playing drums. Like, that's not part of his band. This has got to be like.
No, the droid is part of his band.
Not that droid playing drums. No,
Bro.
He's never.
Yeah, because
I have a secondary question here. Why the hell did they do this?
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's Boba's territory, so they're like straight up just gonna go start murking Boba's territory.
I feel like a lot of the story has been that they've kind of been in cahoots with the mayor a little bit, and like they're holding secrets from Boba.
I think she's on his team. Like, she's the one that immediately paid him. She's the one who's given him the clues. Like, hey, go check out this guy. See what's going on over here if you want to know something.
Guys, what's more important is my lovely Twi'lek wife is dead.
The green guy, that's who you like?
Well,
wow, what?
It's Tuesday night, so no.
Polish my helmet.
Jeez.
That's what they said in the show.
Too much.
That's what they say.
Too much. The bomb scene, it gutted me, man. I didn't want to see Gara die.
And I was like, well, maybe she was far enough away. Nah, like it was like blown out, and it was like that was everybody inside there was dead.
It was gone. Back to Grogu and Luke. Grogu is given 2 choices. 1, the gift from Mando. 2, Yoda's lightsaber. But a caveat is given.
Your chance to ever buy a Yoda lightsaber hilt is now diminished because they're going to be astronomical.
Skyrocket in price. There is a caveat. If he takes the gift from Mando, he must not walk the path of the Jedi. The exact quote from Luke is, "You will forsake the path of the Jedi, and I will not train you to be a Jedi." And then obviously the episode fades to black with, we don't know what the choice of Grogu is. So
what's your gut tell you? What's your gut prediction?
I'm going to flip it to Michael first because I have a rant.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the rant. Listen, and actually, I really like that they left us on this cliffhanger because I do think from Grogu's perspective, this really could go either way. I think from the show's perspective, I think the Mandalorian path makes a lot more sense. I think first and foremost, they're not going to put him in a position where he's not on the Mandalorian anymore, because I don't think all the casual Mandalorian viewers probably would no longer tune in if Grogu wasn't there. Also, the show is about the Mandalorian and his relationship with this child, so I feel like you have to continue to keep that connection. I feel like I just can't see him. And also, here's the other thing. He can't pick up that lightsaber. I know it's a small lightsaber, but his hands he's still small. Yep. Like, it's not like he's going to grab that lightsaber and start wielding it in the next episode. Like,
he's got like 40 years of development.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I definitely think it's going to go Mandalorian, but I will say they've made a good job convincing me that it could go either way.
So here's my quick rant. So a lot of people have what I call Luke blinders. Those are people who are so infatuated with Luke that they can't see through his pelvis. It's literally impossible. They don't have X-ray vision, so you can't.
Who are you talking about?
Nobody.
Just people.
People have an infatuation with Luke. There are many, many people that have an infatuation with Luke, and here's the problem. A lot of those people hate The Last Jedi, which is perfectly fine. I'm also not a fan of Last Jedi. However, Last Jedi Luke is my favorite version of Luke. And to follow that up,
favorite of all time?
Yep, that is my favorite version of Luke. So this version of Luke, who wants to give Grogu this dogmatic choice, has not come to terms with all of the things he learns about the Jedi that we find out in The Last Jedi. This is actually the crappiest version of Luke that leads an entire school of children to be slaughtered by his nephew because of the choices he made, and Yoda told him to not make those choices. So my question to Star Wars fandom is, pick better heroes. Pick better heroes.
Skywalkers aren't really on a great track record.
Because this guy ain't it, man. Like, I do think that we end up having
this isn't the EU Luke.
I said
like,
that
this
more.
Isn't,
yeah,
and this isn't like what everybody wants him to be. Like, they've gone a different path entirely.
Yeah. And I said that more of, satire, and that was a little bit to be funny. But seriously, this is the version of Luke that literally leads his entire school to get killed by his nephew. This isn't the good Luke. This isn't the Luke that saw through the facades of the Jedi, the
Grandmaster Luke.
This isn't all the things that, all the explanation that he gives in Last Jedi is him being humanized and seen past all that, the grandeur and everything that they were, right? I think that this episode played too heavy on nostalgia, and unfortunately, I feel that Luke and Grogu took away from the Cad Bane reveal.
I would agree with that, because I almost did not even talk about the Cad Bane part with most people that talked to me about this episode.
Exactly.
It was all about Grogu and Luke.
Yeah, which was a little disappointing for me. But that was really my rant. I do think that the direction to answer, what Michael was saying is which gift is he getting, is I do think that Grogu is going to be a Jedi for a period of time. He will somehow get the jacket, still have that attachment. Luke will then find that he still has that. And my theory, hopefully this isn't or hasn't already been said by somebody, is in The Last Jedi, Luke says something very particular. He says, I have seen raw power like this once before. It didn't scare me then, but it scares me now. Nowhere does that mean he didn't say Ben Solo after that sentence.
He didn't say Ben. He didn't say Kylo.
He didn't say none of that.
Yeah.
I really feel that he is referencing Grogu when talking to Rey about this. Rey is the other inverse of this big amount of power. And we could have this actual confrontation where he tries to take this little Beskar chainmail from Grogu, and Grogu has a child
tantrum.
Thank you. And manhandles Luke and either sends him on his way, tells Mando to come get him, whatever the case may be.
We've seen his power explode in moments of life or death when it came to
lifting
Din.
the Mudhorn.
Yeah, anything that came with protecting Din, like he's got these explosions of power and tenacity.
Yeah,
it would not at all surprise me to see like him trying to take away the gift of Mando from Luke tries to take it away from him, that would trigger something.
Explosions reminds me of another Jedi named Anakin.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Another thought I had, you kind of touched on a little bit, but obviously, I don't think they're going to put Grogu in a situation where Kylo will slaughter him. And also, I don't know, I can't remember if it was explicitly said or implied, but I'm pretty sure Leia is supposed to be Luke's first Padawan. So those are two other points that make me believe that there's no way he's going the Jedi route here.
And it's weird because we've had this question before, because in the Bloodline books, Leia explicitly told Luke, I will not be trained. She pursues being a politician. And then they kind of retcon that in Rise of Skywalker by then saying, she trained for a little bit. And one of the other not retcon, but I would love an explanation. Don't need it. How did he get Yoda's lightsaber?
When Yoda died on Dagobah.
Well, Yoda loses his lightsaber fighting Sidious on Coruscant in the political arena. It gets knocked out of his
I'm
hand.
sure he got it back.
There's also
Go
sorry,
ahead,
I don't
Michael.
mean to interrupt, but this is kind
interrupt
of
him. He's not important.
talking about retcons here. I wasn't aware of this, but I've read this today. Apparently, in one of the Vader comics, Vader destroys Yoda's lightsaber.
Okay, so somebody else brought that up to me. So in the Vader comic, after Order 66, they gather all the lightsabers that they find from all the dead Jedi. They break them open. They take the Kyber crystals because they're using them for the Death Star. And then they smelt all the lightsabers in the city square of Coruscant, basically, in front of the Jedi Temple for everybody to see. And Michael, you were saying that specifically Yoda's was in there?
I did not read the comics. I read online that somebody said Yoda's lightsaber was there.
It would make sense that they would find it, but there's also, I didn't know this until, what was it? Was it today or was it yesterday? I can't remember. There's a deleted scene in Empire where Yoda is lightsaber training Luke.
I mean, Yoda's an 800-year-old master.
Exactly.
It's not a stretch to think that the dude knows how to freaking make a lightsaber when he's trapped on Dagobah for years.
Yeah.
Hold on there, because I want to touch on this. I know this is a little off tangent, but I don't like the path that we're going here with Grogu, because the whole thing about Yoda is he's 800 years old, so he must have all this wisdom. But here Grogu is at 50 and he's still like an infant. It's like, is it really impressive to be 800 years old if that 800 actually translates to what, 90 to us? Like, I don't know. It's like it's a little weird to me.
I see what you're saying, because he's 50,
his developmental,
but he's still a
his like mental development is not like, he's not like a 50-year-old dude
in a toddler body.
Yeah,
there's not Benjamin Button stuff going on here.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting though. Overall, I really enjoyed watching the episode. Here's another kind of a hot take of mine. This will absolutely go down as a failure for me if Cad Bane dies next episode. If he dies next episode, I ruin the day I watched this show, and I will be so upset.
Well, I'm not sure how much you guys have touched on this, but the unfinished episodes of Clone Wars that were released showed like a very unedited version of Boba Fett killing Cad Bane, which tells me that very well could happen next episode. It actually reminds me a little bit. Sorry, again, I'm going Marvel on you guys, but spoilers for Hawkeye also if you haven't seen that. But we get the tease of Kingpin, and then Kingpin dies the next episode. So
he's not dead. Come on.
Is he really dead? Yeah, that's the question. But it feels very reminiscent of that. And actually, I would bet my money right now Cad Bane is going to die. It's going to break my heart, but I'm preparing for it at this point.
There's no way. For starters, I agree with you. And that's why I'm saying it, because I think it's likely that he dies. If you give me this broke ass terrible Boba for 4 episodes, and then he kills Cad Bane, it is going to it's not going to look good, guys.
If he kills him, it's going to be something dumb, like he's riding his Rancor bareback and like chomps him, like something stupid, like nothing to do with Boba's skill.
Oh, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 on how likely Boba's riding that Rancor?
Oh, it's a 10. It's a
10.
It's a 10. By the way, Glenn, one of our patrons, Michael, he's going to be very upset. Again, we are 0 out of 10 on the Rancor meter this episode. He loves Rancors, and when there's no Rancor, he's very upset. It'll be the first thing he says. Well, there's no Rancor again. But we got Cad Bane. Anyway, Justin, final thoughts on the episode.
I think
you didn't give your...
Okay.
Where you think everything's going.
So what I've started to think and develop a thought process on the way that
I'm glad that you're doing that now. Critical thinking's hard.
Finally.
It's very hard.
Yeah, we're making a podcast.
No, it's my only team member.
He's out of the canoe. He jumped out.
Oh no, I'm on a 2-person kayak and 1 person.
Yes.
It's not good. No. So we've been struggling with this series in general. I still am struggling with the first 4 episodes.
Yeah.
But based off of what we've seen, I guess more specifically with season 2 of The Mandalorian and now Book of Boba Fett, I think I am somewhat understanding what they're trying to do with, like you're referencing Marvel. I'm going to call this a phase. This phase of Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
call it the Disney Plus phase if you want to.
Yep.
I feel like all of these shows are one overarching story for sure.
Yeah.
Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka. I don't know where the other shows. Obviously, Obi-Wan's not going to fit into it because it's a different timeline.
Yeah.
But anything, the Ranger show, what's going to happen to that? I have no idea. If it's complete,
It got
they said that, but
postponed,
we don't know what's going to happen. But anything that's in this timeline is one phase. It's one overarching story, and the series is kind of highlighting this character's perspective of this timeline, but it's all one main thing going on.
Yeah.
Hence why in The Mandalorian we're getting cameo crazy. We're getting Ahsoka, and people are wondering like why we're seeing Ahsoka in this show. I think that these characters are going to be constantly crossing over.
Yeah.
I think that this is a circle of people, a Venn diagram, or whatever you want to call it, that it's going to continually cross over. It's going to merge, and you're going to see cameos in all these shows. They're all going to be connected. Book of Boba Fett is more focused on Tatooine. It's more focused directly on what's going on with him, but it's also tying in Mandalorian. It's also tying in Ahsoka. We had the Mandalorian show. It's introduced us to Ahsoka. It introduced us to Thrawn. When we get into the Ahsoka show, I think we're going to dive deep into Thrawn. We're going to dive into Ezra, and now we're going to have connections with both Boba Fett, Fennec, Cad Bane, Black Crouton, all of these guys.
Yeah.
And I really think that this is their way of telling the story rather than doing a movie, rather than doing a trilogy of movies. That's 3 individual movies that are wrapping one story. I think this whole thing is one phase, if you will. And you're going to see tons of crossover, and it's not necessarily fan service for the sake of like, why the heck is Ahsoka in Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian? We're not on Tatooine. What's the point of this?
It appears that way now, but in the long run, it could change.
It could change. And I still have a problem with the first 4 episodes. The first 4 episodes should have been 2.
We'll get into that heavily when we do the recap as a whole. It's still weird to me that all the same people died. You know, why have
the Tuskens?
Why kill all the Tuskens and then and then we don't have foot soldiers?
Yeah, that would have been great.
Would have been perfect,
especially with Cobb Vance's relationship with the Tuskens.
Yeah,
with
now
Mando,
that
and
the
then
Free
Boba
City
Fett's relationship, that would have been like a huge army.
Super weird. Michael, any final thoughts on the episode?
Yeah, listen, and I think the big complaint thus far is like there's a lot of jokes. Like I saw a tweet that went pretty viral. It was like, "Oh, Boba Fett makes a cameo in the Book of Boba Fett." You know,
yes.
It's like here's the thing. I think a lot of people's issue really stems from the title of the show, not necessarily the show.
I literally said that to him today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I feel like if you could just get guys, if you could just get past the title, this is no different than the Star Wars we've gotten thus far as TV shows go. I mean, from Rebels to Clone Wars to Bad Batch to The Mandalorian, we've always taken like sidesteps onto other stories. This isn't a new concept. If anything, it is the problem with the title. And maybe you do have qualms with the character, which I get too, but I've been constantly saying this on our podcast, but I remember so many complaints about Mando season 1. So many. They talked about how it didn't track from episode to episode. It was kind of like a procedural drama, if nothing else. And I just want to say, like, we had those complaints now, but we look back so fondly on it, and I think we will look back fondly on Boba Fett. And maybe it's not exactly the way we would have chosen, but it's going to inform the character going forward. And I think we're going to be really grateful for this stuff. So for me, I'm the type that's always going to defend Star Wars as best as I can. And I love Star Wars so much. And I love the Book of Boba Fett. And I think we're going to come around on this. Even in those first 4 episodes, I agree they weren't as accelerated. They didn't give us the fan service. I said I love the fan service. But I think we will look back on this fondly. This has been a really fun ride, and seeing like Boba's rise, and especially where he's going to go, because this isn't going to be the end of Boba Fett, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to die next episode. So I think we have a lot more story to tell, and we're going to look back on this stuff fondly. So that's all I got. Thank you for letting me give my 2 cents on this.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I feel like Marvel suffers from this too, where cameo hour, I feel, is like a derogatory term, so that's not how I mean it. But we have so much crossover now that we almost need to separate having these titled shows and give them chapters and volumes. So because this is taking place after Return of the Jedi, this could be Star Wars Episode 6 volume, and then we have
call this the War of Tatooine. Something like
something.
If you would have called it the War of Tatooine,
well, then we might as well call it.
You
might as well call it Book of Boba Fett, though. That doesn't. My point is if we give an actual chronological volume to the Star Wars movie that it's associated with, before or after,
okay,
it would help. And Marvel, kind of the same thing. It's like Spider-Man here, Hawkeye there, Avengers here. It's like, you know, the Infinity Saga volume, you know, dose, all that stuff. You know, it's anyway. I hope that we're gonna get more. It's gonna get great. Michael, thank you very much for joining us, guys. Don't forget, go over to Stark Wars. They release episodes every week, just like us. Show them some support. Follow them on Instagram, all of their social medias. Download their podcast, listen to it, give them some support, give them a rating. Go over there, hit the 5-star button. It's completely free and it helps them. Go over there, hit it. Tell them, Michael. Tell them to hit it.
Yeah, hit it. And listen, I want to say real quickly, look, I'm not Joe Rogan, right? Okay. I'm not like the most famous podcast on earth, which means you can go to my Instagram at Stark Wars Pod and you can message me and I will get back to you and I will tell you my opinions and we can have a deep conversation between the two of us. So that's what I love to do. I like to connect with fans. So just come talk to me. I'm a very cool guy. I like all different types of people. So
I agree.
Let's have some fun and let's meet some new people. And thank you guys so much for having me. This was a blast. And I want to say, real briefly here, like before the reason I started a podcast is because it was very hard for me to find a Star Wars podcast that I really liked. Like, and I don't want to like insult anybody because I know there's a lot of people listening that might have their own podcasts and whatnot. But for me, it's like, it's hard for me to find somebody that speaks truly to like my type of humor, the analytical stuff that I like to enjoy. And I just want to compliment you guys because you have such a great show and you guys are officially my favorite Star Wars podcast. So thank you guys so much for doing what you do and having me on as well.
I'm officially bashful from the Snow White.
My canoe is always open for you, buddy.
Listen, get out of Justin. I sunk your canoe. I sunk it. I hit it with a gaffy stick. There's a giant hole in it. You're in a sinking canoe, Michael.
Oh, did you sink the canoe?
I don't got nothing for that. That was really good. No, it's a canoe it's the brand Canoe. Guys, now is a great time for us to hear you guys at the Cantina listening post. Listen, even though Gara's got blown up, we got a broom. We dusted off a couple of tables. We're going to sit down, pour some spotchka, and listen to your calls right now. Justin, it is the best time, I think, about our episodes. You know,
100%. This is what we look forward to the most every time.
Look, people are just crawling out of Gara's sanctuary. Okay, they're burned. Okay, they're Anakin status. But they took out their data pads to call us and leave us messages. So we're going to get into those. But, of course, first and foremost, we have to roll the chance cube to see who is getting their chance at the wheel today. Rolling the D20. Okay, no, that didn't work because there's okay, I keep getting higher numbers than 16. Hang on. It's not cooperating. I'm getting the random number generator out to see who is winning this prize. It is number 9. All right, so forget the chance cube for that one. Let us see who the
We had
caller
a
is this
ton
week.
of callers this week.
To be expected. This episode was a freaking banger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jonathan. Oh, wait, nope. Jonathan called in twice. He almost got it. You know what? I am going to give it to Jonathan because Glenn is number 9, and Glenn got to spin the wheel last week. So we're going to go with Jonathan. So let me get this wheel spinning real quick.
The most satisfying sound ever. We still have done no dares.
Have you been working on your dare?
I would literally, you had your headphones out. I was like, we have still done none of the dares.
I was gonna say, have you worked on it though?
I didn't last week just because Liz had bronchitis, so she was miserable in bed all week last week. So I'll have to record it this week.
It's dare jar again. All right, hang on. I might have to hit. I'm gonna have to get double. Okay, we already did number 4. Number 3 for the dare jar for me. Checking it. Uno mas. I'm gonna have to.
That's a good sound.
I'm gonna have to take a bite of a raw onion.
With your face covered in peanut butter.
Yes, with my face covered in peanut butter. I'm gonna. Can I combine the two? Can I cover the the onion in peanut butter?
No, cover your face. Then take a bite.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. Guys, once again, thank you for joining. Staying this long for Concon's Cantina. Of course, we're gonna get into the calls right now. Absolutely amazing episode, and we cannot wait to hear what you guys have to say. Once again, a lot of calls. So me and Justin are gonna try to play out the calls as much as possible. Obviously, we will be commenting on them, when necessary, but a lot of calls, so we're going to get through them, obviously, respect of everybody's time. So we're going to jump in with the winner of the wheel spin this week, which is Jonathan Coons.
Hey guys, Jonathan here. Just wanted to call in for this week's episode. Pretty awesome episode. Love seeing Grogu training. The hard decision that Mando had to make to not see him. Definitely felt those emotions while watching it. The disappointment, anger, frustration. So hopefully, I feel like he's going to be pretty jacked in his upcoming battle because he still didn't get to see the baby. So he's going to.
Dude, that's a really good point. So we mentioned in the Return of the Mandalorian episode when he was just like kill crazy that we thought like Papa Mando was mad.
Exactly.
And now that he didn't get to it, he's got even more pent up aggression.
Have some feelings to let out. I kind of already talked to Konnor about this, but my thought on the final scene where Luke, first of all, what a jerk move. Luke making Grogu choose between the armor and the lightsaber. And he says that if Grogu chooses the lightsaber, he would be his first student in the academy. And that's interesting because in the comic series, The Rise of Kylo Ren, it shows that Ben Solo was Luke's first student at the academy. So this is a big decision because are they going to be changing, either retconning or changing what's going to happen here in the future?
Or do we know the answer?
Especially with the sequel trilogy, if Yoda.
What do you mean by that?
Maybe that's. I mean, it's stuff like that that's telling us he's not going to be the first student. Like maybe we, if like he's obviously not going to choose to stay with Luke, and in some fashion, maybe for the show's sake, there's some type of he might stay now, but he's going to probably inevitably end up leaving, as we all kind of suspect already.
And not everybody is familiar with the comics, so still having this choice for more of the casual audience is still entertainment factor.
Yeah.
If Grogu chooses the lightsaber, then, that changes everything. If he chooses the armor, then everything can kind of stay intact. I'm hoping that somehow he chooses armor and finds a way to sneak grab the lightsaber on his way out. There's no way they can tease us with him having armor and yielding a lightsaber and we don't get both. So that'd be pretty cool. But just my thought on that.
What if Grogu wields the Darksaber?
Oh God. Well, what I was going to say, have we even talked about, can Grogu even handle the lightsaber? Like, he's too small, right?
I mean, right now it would be a montage where the skill training session again, but I don't know.
I mean, if you think of how big he is 50 years old now. I mean, what do we have? Another 40 years of him developing before he could safely wield a lightsaber? I don't know. It seemed,
Yeah, he would look awkward for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys think about how the decision can kind of shake things up in the Star Wars universe? Maybe getting more, closer to that Ahsoka theory train of thought with the timeline being changed, with her being saved. So who knows? I guess we'll find out what he decides. But either way, great episode. Absolutely loved seeing the kid run around and do jumps and flips, and love seeing him on the back of Luke, kind of reminiscent of Yoda on the back of Luke, running through the woods. So really good episode. Can't wait for the season finale. Hey guys, me again. Real quick, I think I forgot to mention why I think that is because at the very end, Luke specifically states that if Grogu chooses the lightsaber, he would be his first student at the academy. So, therefore, my thought process on that. Can't remember if I said that in the first voicemail. Okay, bye.
So, I was talking to you yesterday, Justin. Luke specifically making him choose, in my opinion, is solid proof of where the Star Wars timeline is going in the Ahsoka is the key theory.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which I'm not going to spoil it because I'm going to make a TikTok about it. I was formulating all my thoughts yesterday. But how did you feel overall about the choice that he makes Grogu do,
I think it fits Luke for this stage in his life.
Yeah.
I think that he's so new to being a Jedi without any real training. I mean, I'm sure he has some type of Force Ghost training between Yoda and Ben and stuff, just because I say Ben, but I mean Obi-Wan. Just because we've seen in some of the novels, we've seen in the movies, like he's getting words of wisdom from them, but that's really all he has. At this point, he may have found some artifacts or something like that, but he's, for the most part, on his own, just out there trying to figure this out. So it tracks with something that the Luke we see in The Last Jedi has a totally different way of thinking about it, because he's got way more time and wisdom in his experience. So I think this is exactly the way Luke would be. It's a still Jedi code, right or wrong, yes or no, hard line drawn between the two.
Hard. Thank you for that call, Jonathan. You have earned yourself 3 entries into the grand prize. Once again, we'll be doing the grand prize at the end of the Book of Boba Fett series. Of course, in usual fashion, Justin and I will be doing the Book of Boba Fett season 1 recap, and we'll be visiting that shortly. Now we are going to go into Darth Paulo calling in the Cantina line again for us.
Hey, Connor and Justin, how y'all doing?
Notice he said my name first.
Just Filoni's episode.
Just letting you know.
We're not living in the Filoni verse because this awesome man makes nothing but gold. Amazing episode, man. I love the way it started off with Cobb Vanth, who is still a badass without his armor. I mean, you see him collect 2 pikes and then hit another one. Yo, that last dude was out of there. But I'm wondering what's in that box. It looks like a lightsaber box. I can't think of what lightsaber it could possibly be. Unless we want to do, what's that guy that got together with Ventress like during the Clone Wars, kind of went evil
Quinlan
for a second. Whatever.
Quinlan Voss.
But I love the way then it goes to Din going to see Grogu. Totally shocked to see Ahsoka. I love Ahsoka to death. This is the first time she's annoyed me since she's been introduced, because she was like, I'm chose not to train Grogu. Other people can make their own choices. I'm also choosing to tell you that you should not see him. Like, what? Okay.
Going right into...
Don't get me started.
Dude, listen. I think you and me both like the general idea of the Ahsoka is the key theory, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's cool, right?
She's a cool character,
World between worlds. Ahsoka is saved and, a sequel trilogy doesn't happen. Cool idea. I think that by her intervening here and her still being on that same path as the old Jedi of old, and obviously the same that Luke is trying to rebuild that leads to failure. Once again, I got a TikTok coming out about it. It ain't the key, people. She ain't the key. Telling you.
If all the calls keep going like this, you're gonna end up giving the full.
Yeah,
rant.
I am. Yeah.
And then Din does the honorable thing at that moment, and he leaves. He goes to see Cad Bane. Cad doesn't want to get involved. I get it, but then he calls a town meeting because he knows the Pikes are trouble. He just dealt with 4 of them, and then we get Cad Bane, which I instantly knew. I was like, bro, Cobb, like just go back inside, buddy. Like, go back inside and let Din know you're willing to fight, but don't take this one-on-one, man. Which he did, and him and his deputy got smoked like hell. And then
super smoked.
We get the scene with I think it's like Fennec and all the people that they're trying to recruit, and then we go back to the Jedi Temple, and Luke pulls out Yoda's old lightsaber hilt and tells Grogu that he needs to make a choice. This also kind of annoyed me too. I guess that'll be my hot take. Is I thought in the EU and now in canon, I thought Luke's Jedi Academy was more accepting of attachments and things of that nature. So that was kind of a weird turn for me. I wasn't expecting that. Also, I know that TV and movies have priority over comics and books, and sometimes they retcon them, like Mandalorian Season 7 and the Siege of Mandalore with the Ahsoka book. But Yoda's lightsaber hilt was destroyed in Darth Vader, Dark Lords of the Sith, in the comic books by Matsushita. He has all the lightsabers, and he holds Yoda's up in the air, throws it in a furnace, and destroys it. And it's an important moment for Vader because Sidious is telling him that a Sith lightsaber is not given, it's taken. And he has to then go hunt in Order 66 Survivor for their lightsaber. So I don't like that retcon. That lightsaber is destroyed. If it happened, it's canon now, so whatever. But that's my one hot take. Love you guys. Hope y'all are doing good.
So we did have a confirmation via Russell, and of course I had it in front of me, and now I don't. I want to say it was Rebel Alliance issue 1 is Yoda rebuilding his lightsaber, and you said this. Come on, guys. He's a Jedi Master that lived for 900 years. If he had time after the events of, there's a good amount of a chunk of time after Revenge of the Sith to Yoda's death, about 30 years, he's gonna build another lightsaber. Thank you for that call again, Darth Paulo. Now for, he says he's good at Halo, but I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen him online lately, so I think he's just lost it.
Cake here again. Galaxy's best Halo player. Just finished watching episode 6 of Bob, Book of Boba Fett. And this is probably the most emotional I've got watching this series. And basically anything that had to do with Grogu and Luke, I was just emotional, got chills, got teary-eyed. And I think this is my favorite episode by far. And I know you guys love your montages. What about that little running montage? It's a callback from Empire with Grogu on his back. So great. And I can't believe that Luke has his lightsaber, Yoda's lightsaber. Because I forget if this was canon or not. It might be Legends. But I remember there was a book where after everything went down, the Emperor burned all the lightsabers, and there was a specific part where after he burned Yoda's lightsaber, he gave a sigh of relief. I don't know if that's still canon or not, but I guess not, obviously. But yeah, didn't really see much about it. Both didn't even talk this episode.
This is cool because to have multiple people bring this up to us, it shows how, even though how accessible a lot of this information is, not everybody knows it. So it's like we have a general idea of, hey, I'm pretty sure this happened, or I've seen it in a YouTube video somewhere. And still, even how many years are we into the Disney acquisition, and people are still having trouble finding the line between canon, not canon?
Yeah, remembering which is which. Like, wait, is this which? What? Wait, yeah, what? Especially with books like the later books, like the 2012, 13, and 14, that are great books, and it's so close to the timeline. So it's easy to know, like, some book written in the 90s. Yeah, that's not canon, but yeah, it messes with your head for sure.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it. You know, the comics have gotten so big over the last couple of years, and it just allows them to fill in these gaps on a budget. You know, obviously making a comic is way different than shooting a TV show or a movie, but anyway.
Saw him there. But yeah, and that reveal at the end, Cad Bane, this is going to be great. We're going to get a rematch. We're going to see the rematch we want, and we'll get to see the duel that we never got to see in Clone Wars. So it's going to be great. But yeah. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, I was really thinking. I rewatched that scene. I think we shared it on our Instagram, if I remember correctly. But I was rewatching that scene, and I feel really, really confident that Dave feels like that was an unfinished piece of work, and we are going to get that scene. I don't know if it's going to play out in the exact same way, because, I mean, it obviously can't, because Boba already has the dent in the helmet, which in theory means that this has already happened once.
It could happen again, and they could play it off as such. But if Cad Bane dies to freaking Boomer Fett,
yeah, that'll be. It's not like he's been like
hurt. So sorry,
yeah,
I didn't mean to.
I'm on the same thought as you. Same thought as you. If
I'm literally upset. Yeah, I'm literally upset.
This version of Fett. If this is the version that takes him out, it will be super irritating.
Yeah,
the version that took him out in the unfinished scene, that's teenage Boba Fett and the height of his hunting, like learning to hunt and just being amazing. Now we get old man Fett, which this is also old man Cad Bane. He's 72 years old through canon, and Duros as a species age the same as humans.
Yeah,
so he's a lot older than Boba Fett.
They definitely did this on purpose. You know, it bothered me a little bit. You know, the guy that we post that does all the Unreal Engine stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the fan films, the little 2-3 minute fan films. He's the same one that did the edit on Cad Bane. And I was pretty upset about the edit on Cad Bane because,
explain what this is, so if anybody just doesn't know off the top of your head what you're talking about. The edit.
So we see the Cad Bane that we see in the episode, and it's a real person. It's practical. So the mouth, the geography of where his mouth should be technically is not right. So a digital artist recreated the scene by making him Clone War style, you know, and it upset me a little bit because I know a lot of people worked really, really hard on that costume, and they wanted a real person in that costume. And no doubtably, Lucasfilm could have done the same thing that he did, which was make him digital, but they didn't want to do that. I don't know where I was going with that, but I really did appreciate that they made his skin lighter, because a lot of people were commenting on that. They're like, oh, his skin's too light. It's not the right color. Nay. Duros's skins lighten over time, just like Chiss, just like humans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our skin gets paler as we get older. And it's a key detail that people quote had a problem with, but it's actually, you know, it's on purpose.
I mean, going along with what you just said, everybody is complaining that he doesn't look like they've seen him before, which is in Clone Wars and Bad Batch. Which is technically Clone Wars follow-up, whatever. But that is a very stylized cartoon. If you look at the other humans that have live-action counterparts, they do not look the same. Faces, kind of specifically, are all stretched vertically. Everything on them is drawn out to be longer and skinnier. That's kind of just the vibe of what the characters look like in this show. And Count Dooku specifically, if you look at the picture of Count Dooku in Clone Wars and look at a picture of live action Count Dooku, they look nothing alike. There are similarities. Yes, you can tell it's the same person. Yes, but it's super stylized in Clone Wars. So why would you expect that this would be different for him? Because he's an alien.
Yeah, totally. Next we have Ricky, another one of our patrons.
What's happening, guys? This is Ricky. What a double banger of an episode this week. Can't say enough, of course. Konnor called it last week. We are going to get Luke and Grogu. But not only that, we got Ahsoka, Cad Bane, and Cad Bane. My favorite part was Cad Bane's appearance because he is one of my favorite bounty hunters, and the whole setting. I love Western films, so of course it reminds me of a Sergio Leone type of style.
Great
and
call.
I cannot say enough. Also, two pikes walk into a bar. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to blow up. Figures.
We
Saw
need
that
a
thing
joke.
coming from a mile away. But again, just loving the show, guys. Keep it up. And that is my hot take for today. Extraordinary episode. Can't wait to hear what everyone else thought about it. Have a great day.
Thank you for calling in, Ricky. Yeah, come on, guys. The Pikes, we knew what they were doing. You know, the second that they didn't want to clean their helmets, you know.
The second they were carrying that Cantono in with them, if they weren't meeting somebody to pay for something, the only option was, this is a bomb.
Yeah, there's gonna be. I need like somebody to mock up like some sort of cool Star Wars security sign that says like no Cantanos. You know, like they're banned. You have to have clear ones now. You know, to get through security. Yeah, I need something like that. And now we have the poorly written show notes of the Cantina Splicer.
Guys, here are my poorly written show notes for BOBF EPVI, aka The Mandalorian Friends Galaxy Show Extravaganza. Sam Witwer, you son of a gun. Reprising your role as the Pike Guard was genius. Let the record show that I called Cobb Vance being in this episode. Advice of the year, think it through. A phrase we thought we needed to tell the writers of this show. R2.
Got him.
Best personal assistant ever. What is these spider droids? Nightmare fuel. Grogu is still the best.
He said, what are the spider droids? Nightmare fuel.
The little ant guys.
Yeah.
Gonna get that frog. Luke looks and sounds a lot better. Still annoyed at a Tim training Grogu. Order 66. Seeing clones again felt amazing, which is the opposite of what those Jedi's felt getting blasted. Somehow, Rosario Dawson became more like Ahsoka this episode than in Mando Season 2. No place safer in the galaxy than with a Skywalker? Ask Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, C-3PO, Han Solo, Mace Windu, Emperor Palpatine, Padme, the Death Star twice, Alderaan, and any Tusken, if that's true. Mando has to watch Grogu's new stepdad raise him. Ahsoka logic got him checkmated. I'm pretty sure they took that running scene from Twilight. Binary sun scene. Gets me every time. In all honesty, this Jedi stuff is what we wanted to see. Not, oh, suddenly I have powers, but actual training montages. And I love all of this, but why is this here? Boba got kicked out of his own show. Gonna have to call child services and stepdad Luke. This episode is giving me more questions than answers. Ahsoka saying, so much like your father, don't bring him up. Halfway through the episode and get back to Boba. Genius.
Your father's an emaciated shrimp.
Knows the assistant's still alive? Feed him to the Rancor already. Mando and Vance, a combination I love. Vance is a mood, and I love it. All a space western. We back! Cad Bane, welcome to live action. You look like the result of two radioactive blue avocados that tried to make a space baby. Add the deputies to my list of people I want shot. And now the deputy's off the list. Cad is so efficient. Really? You're going to destroy the only reliable bar in Tatooine? Now I want the Pikes dead. Mithril. Luke did the right thing making Grogu choose. I just hate that he has to choose. Really love that Tamora Morrison made a cameo in this episode. And now
Oh, he ran out of time.
And now I'm ready for
Oh.
the finale. John and Cowboy David created for what has quickly become the anything but Boba Fett show. Guys, those were my poorly written, spoken, and timed notes. BODS
He ran into a second.
Yeah. Thanks for calling as always, Jordan. That was fantastic.
That was, hey, he had that to the 3-minute mark pretty close. That was only
It
like
was
3
close.
minutes and 8 seconds.
Yeah, it was close. It was close. He did great on that one. Dude, the think it through. He should have said that to the writers of the show. That was good. That was good.
What's poppin', Cantina? This is Ethan, aka Goku Wannabe, and surprise, I'm still alive from last call. I was able to get a sensu bean, and now I'm back, stronger than ever. It's all good. Wow, just finished
remember when
watching the Book of Mando.
We were like, Ethan, message us. Like, do you remember? He was like, yeah, it was like really quiet. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And gotta say, this by far is my favorite episode. 10 out of 10. I don't care what anyone says. 10 out of 10. It's, from start to finish, so good. My gosh, my God, so good. Right from the get-go, we got Cobb Vanth. Loved seeing him again. Thought we were going to see him again, but still was so good seeing him again.
He's definitely alive.
I'm going to pitch this idea to you.
100%.
You guys should make a Cobb Vanth t-shirt with the catchphrase, think it through. And then send one to me for free, or give me 50% of the profits you make, or whatever, you know.
Or all the profits.
Anyway, seeing Ahsoka again was really cool. Just the whole scenes with Luke and Grogu was so good. My gosh, it was so good. Did not expect that at all, and so happy it happened. They pulled it off so well. The CGI was so amazing to me. Seeing Luke's face and seeing him talk, I didn't notice anything that looked off. It just was so good.
Pause it for a sec.
I like the whole full circle.
Do you think that they do anything to Mark Hamill's voice to make it sound younger, or do you think it's
100%.
still because he's credited? It is Mark Hamill voicing everything, but it doesn't sound like current Mark Hamill. It sounds like young Mark Hamill.
And so I had this. I wanted to talk about that, but I felt like it was going to be nitpicky, so I didn't bring it up. Because the way that he talks, it's almost like they've slowed it down to help with the edit. You know?
Yeah, no, that's probably definitely true.
Either that, or they literally tell him to talk slower because, dang, freaking coffee giving me mad hiccups. He literally is like, feel the force. It's balance. Like everything is like kind of elongated. Yeah.
I mean, you got to think, like, if you're talking quick and quickly moving your mouth, it would be way harder to do the deep fake technology with versus if you're slower and deliberate in your sentences. That's easier to animate without looking janky. I'm curious. I'm really curious though what they digitally do to his actual voiceover work to make it sound like a 30-year-old Luke, because it sounds. I mean, it sounds like it's from Return of the Jedi. It's perfect.
Yeah, they have to be doing something because obviously seeing. I don't think it's out of Mark's wheelhouse for him to do that to his own voice.
Well, that is true. I mean, he can like master voiceover actor at this point. So I didn't even really think about that.
He could probably put his own inflection, slowing it down
to
make his like he's just gonna throw his his voice into a higher octave, know. And I have no doubts that he could do that, but there's still probably some help there for sure.
Yeah.
With Luke being trained by Yoda and then him training Yoda's species using Yoda's methods is so good. Full circle. Great seeing that. Love seeing the chainmail armor. Got to see that. Not sure if it was worth melting the spear along with my heart in the last episode.
True.
That really affected me. So I'm not sure if it was worth that, but still cool seeing it. Also, I knew they were going to end off with Grogu needing to make a decision between seeing Mando again and training to be a Jedi. And that's going to be interesting seeing how that plays out. And oh my gosh, seeing Cad Bane, that was so uncalled for and so unexpected, and it was great. Loved every second of it. Just, so amazing. It's going to be so interesting seeing him and Boba Fett hopefully encounter each other. Rip Garza Phillip. My gosh, that really did not like that.
Yeah.
Like, I know she's out of my age range, but still, she, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, rip to her, and anyway, that's it. Just this whole episode is so good. Out of all 6 episodes so far.
Unfortunately,
he died
got
again.
cut off. Yep, he died again.
He died again.
Dude,
Cards off the road.
I'm still shocked about the Gara thing. Like, it's kind of like really unnecessary.
Yeah. Sometimes killing off a character that everybody likes is what creates some emotion. So she wouldn't have a huge think about Queel when Queel died.
Don't bring it up.
Think of it like
that
Queel,
was more touching,
IG-11.
though. That was more emotional. But
yeah, she felt Gara
was a cool character.
Very unneeded. She's done nothing wrong.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly. Did nothing right. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Ethan, for that call.
Next caller.
Uh-oh. This one has no audio. Huh. Hang on, let me double check and make sure that it's okay. Well, I do apologize. I'm not going to say your number on the air, obviously for security and privacy reasons. But phone number ending in 1064. Please send us a message on Instagram and try to send us a little video of, recreate your voicemail if you can, because something happened. So we do apologize on that one. On to our next call.
Trying to reach you.
Hey guys, this is Vinny. I just want to say that this episode was awesome. 10 out of 10, I'm going to give it. Simply because of all the lovely faces we got to see that we know and love from childhood, bringing in pretty much comics, Clone Wars, and sequel and prequel stuff. I mean, it's just, yeah. I've watched the episode about 4 times already. And every time seeing Luke just put Grogu on his back and do a rendition of Empire Strikes Back with Grogu now, literally brought a tear to my eye. So, great stuff, great episode. I just want to get it out there that this is going in the right direction for what they're going to be doing. So, big shout out to everything just coming along nicely. And of course, Dave Filoni. I mean, he is doing an awesome job as far as putting the episodes in the right direction of using the best characters. But Cad Bane, Ahsoka Tano, Luke, Grogu, Mandalorian, all in one episode. Great stuff. Great stuff. So I'm really looking forward to what, I guess this will be the last episode, 7 for Boba Fett. It's going to be
his last episode was a while ago.
So many main characters here and key play.
He's in the show.
Honestly, didn't think that Cad Bane would be coming back, but he looks amazing. He did a phenomenal job on the way he looks. But looking forward to see what happens next. But just a beautiful job all the way around. Kind of hoping that they had a Yavin 4 feel for the Jedi Temple, but the way it's looking now, they can just keep on doing it. I'm a very happy man.
It looks very Octo, like same huts.
Yeah, like the same style that those
stone huts. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you very much for that call, as always, Vinny. Next, we have Glenn Osborne. Oh, I can't wait to hear the Rancor meter.
I need my electric.
Hey, this is Glenn Osborne, and I have to say, episode 6 was pretty exciting, despite the lack of Rancors.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like that we're
I agree.
jumping all over the galaxy, and I was thinking about it. I don't feel bad that the name of the story is Book of Boba Fett, and we have a quarter of it dedicated to Din. even though people complain about it, imagine if it was called The Mandalorian Season 3, and we had 5 or 6 episodes focused on Boba Fett godfathering it up and Mos Espa. People would be really mad then. And to tell the story, I think we need to see in this order what Din's doing. So I don't really feel bad about it. They should change both stories to The Mandalorians and be done with it. So we didn't have to wait for the official Mandalorian series. Right away, we see the new Jedi School being built, and we get to see the real protagonist of Star Wars show up, R2-D2. Yeah, the best droid in Star Wars. K2SO and Chopper follow really closely, in my opinion, but R2 is the real protagonist of all of the Star Wars saga. Also, I really like the ant droids.
Dude, R2 looked particularly good in this episode.
Yes,
we didn't talk about that, but he looked really, really good. Whatever. Obviously, he was practical. Just further perpetuating that I need a 1-to-1 scale working R2 in my house. They cost about $12,000 to make. I need to start that.
I can make one for 11.
And I thought it was funny that they built a bed for Din, so I knew he was going to have to sit there for quite a while. And we also got to see Ahsoka, which I really didn't expect, and we got to see her and Luke leaning against a tree, casually discussing Anakin, which I liked. And I think many people wanted to see their first meeting, and the look on Ahsoka's face when she laid eyes on the child of her old master and realized it. But
I still think we might get that.
Again, Luke is making the old mistakes, forcing Grogu to choose between love.
I still think we might get that, but in the Ahsoka show, I think we got this is our initial
You think Luke's
satisfaction of
show?
like I said earlier, I really feel like I'm wrapping my head around the way they are doing all of these shows is that all of these same characters are going to show up in each other's show.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily a cameo for the sake of oh, here's a guy. I think no, this is about this main person, but now all these people are connected. Yeah. Din is connected to Ahsoka, to Luke, to Boba Fett, to Fennec, to everybody. And Boba Fett's connected to everybody. Din is connected to everybody. Ahsoka is now connected. And I think that there's just going to be back and forth overlapping of these individual shows telling one overarching story.
Yeah, I agree.
The Jedi. And I'm a little surprised Ahsoka seems to agree with the tactics despite being aware of how it rotted the Jedi. Well, it's a bad choice that he's forcing Grogu to make. Be a Jedi and take Yoda's saber, or take the mail and go back to Din. And I predict Grogu will choose the chainmail. For one thing, even Yoda's little lightsaber is too big for him right now, so if he stays with the Jedi, he'll have to remake it anyway. So thematically, I think they're going to have to go with the chainmail, which was exactly what I thought that was made for him. I sort of wish that it had a little mudhorn shoulder pauldron, but even so, this was pretty neat. So at the end, we got back to Boba Fett's castle. The gang's all together in the battle room, which is prime Star Wars.
That's something we didn't actually talk about. Even though the scene was obviously short and Boba did not say a word for whatever reason, I did that's the first time we see well, it's not the first time we see because Mando goes there, then he goes to Freetown, then no, we don't see him come back because the episode ends. We see Mando and Black Chrysanthemum kind of in the same room, and I kind of put them on the same level, so to speak. I don't know. I enjoyed seeing all of them in the same room.
I liked it. It was very, like you said, it was very Star Wars. We get that in Rogue One. We get that in A New Hope. We get it in literally every original trilogy movie. The big round table pre-planned meeting, and it's become a Star Wars trope now. I love that they're doing that.
And sadly, the Pike's Bomb Fett's most loyal establishment. And just like Russell said on Facebook, thank the Force that the galaxy's best jizz whaler, Max Rebo, wasn't performing that night. We also got to see Cad Bane and Cobb Vanth in the Western Style Shootout. And hopefully we'll see them again. The subtitles seem to imply that Cobb was still alive. So overall, a great episode and unloading podcast. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, as always.
Come replace the main panel at my house. I need to upgrade it, by the way.
Exactly. All right. You might not be ready for this one, Justin.
Is this Ben?
You're about to be personally attacked.
It's bad. I already talked to him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
He prepped
like,
you?
how, I saw him call. I was like, how dare you, sir?
Dang.
First off, guys, congratulations on your 150th episode. I know you only have 118 episodes on YouTube, but I'm including the extra 32 episodes Konnor forgot to press record. Konnor asked in a previous episode how much was Black Kazakhstan's bar tab, but Konnor forgot that was already covered in the same episode. It wasn't quite an arm and a leg. My favorite part of the entire season so far has been the Night of 1,000 Tears.
Yes.
I am, of course, referring to the evening Justin watched the episode and realized he was completely wrong about the Razor Crest.
Nope.
If Justin was a Star Wars bounty hunter, his name would be dead wrong. Yes, it is often referred to as the Razor Crest, just like I would say, do you want to drive the Forerunner, by referring to it as the make or model. The fact it's called the M111 Razor Crest is the same as the M1 Abrams, the A10 Warthog, or ZP51 Mustang.
You know, finally.
That's wrong.
Finally,
That's wrong. That's absolutely
finally,
incorrect information.
Finally. You know, I've
not
only
your
been
story to
saying
tell,
it
man.
for 2 years now. You
Yeah.
know.
Wow, you got one person on your team.
But, dude, whatever. I can fill an entire Razor Crest with everyone
Razor Crest
on my
Army. Razor Crest Army, call in next week.
Dude, what?
We're
how do
full force. We're going to battle.
We need a shirt with the Razor Crest on it, and the banner is just going to be quote A and then quote the. Like,
yeah.
It's just.
Now it's been repeatedly called a plain old Razor Crest, just another Razor Crest, and Din was asked if he used to fly a Razor Crest.
Nope.
He wasn't asked if he used to fly the one and only specific ship known solely in the Star Wars universe as the Razor Crest.
Nope, that's
Sorry,
incorrect.
Justin.
Misquoted.
Tears.
Misquoted.
Now, Boba Fett is turning into the plot of the Magnificent Seven, and we all know how that ends.
It's
I
true.
honestly don't know what to expect from the show, so my hot take for the final episode is 50-50. I think there is a chance that we will see a cameo of Boba Fett in his own show. Anyway, I hope that made you laugh. Talk to you later. Bye.
It very much did make us laugh, Ben. Thank you very much for the
Ben
call.
killed it in that call in. I give him all the props. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was absolutely hilarious. One thing,
the best like fiction call in where you can just make up whatever you want and just promote it as a fact. That was super enjoyable to listen to your story.
Hey, what on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think the chances are that Boba dies next episode?
I would not mind if they recreated that Clone Wars scene and literally Cad and Bane both die. Like, I'd be perfectly fine with it. Fennec takes over. Yeah, like Cobb is still alive. Cobb takes his armor back, and then he continues as Marshal.
I like that. Yeah,
I would be
Din gives it
perfectly
to him.
fine. Yeah, I would be perfectly fine with that.
You know what's something that's weird that they haven't talked about, which this is technically
that's going to be my new prediction. That's my official prediction.
That's your official prediction?
Yeah.
Because Boba specifically says that his armor is Beskar, right?
Yes.
Well, in you know that Jango, it's Durasteel. So that's something that they reverted. So in the extended universe, whatever, all the Jango stuff, they had already Jango didn't have Beskar armor, it was Durasteel. So that is something that they changed. So I wonder how Mando giving it back to Cobb because it is Beskar doesn't, it doesn't sound right. That's why he wanted to take it in the first place. But if it was Durasteel and it was just in Mandalorian style, I feel like he would, give it up. I don't know. But guys, thank you very much for calling this week. Long episode again, guys, I know, but next week is probably going to be even longer. Yeah. What do you think the runtime for the next episode is going to be?
58 minutes.
I'm hoping for an hour and 10. The longest Star Wars show episode ever. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for
what currently I think the longest is still under 60 minutes, isn't it? They haven't done one over an hour.
56. It's got to be 50. Well, if you include the first episode of Bad Batch, I think that was over an hour, wasn't it? Wasn't it 61 minutes or something like that? Or am I remembering that wrong? That was a long episode.
I know it was longer than the regular episodes, but I don't honestly remember how long.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly either.
I'm going 58. I don't think they're going to cross the 1 hour threshold.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, first time for everything, right? But you didn't catch that one. It's okay, though. Guys, thank you very much for calling in and listening to This Week at Con's Cantina. Of course, I was your host, Connor Jackson, and across from me virtually at the moment,
at the helm of the Razor Crest, Justin Baker.
Guys, don't forget, you can call in, get your entries to the grand prize, and go follow us on TikTok. I'm going to start putting a lot more stuff on TikTok, theory videos, and a lot more stuff like that. That is Con's Cantina podcast on TikTok, and we will catch you guys next time.
Later.